Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. And today, all things media is also including professional wrestling. You guys know I am a huge pro wrestling fan. I have been for as long as I can remember. And I figured, what better day to have a pro wrestling haul go live than the day that we are going to witness the biggest pro wrestling show of all time with AEW's All In Wembley. I am so excited for this event today. I can't even tell you. It starts at noon my time and the whole day is just dedicated to AEW. So happy about this. Before we do this though, I do just want to make mention, this has been an extremely difficult week for professional wrestling fans. First, we lost the absolute hardcore icon that is Terry Funk, one of my all-time favorites. That one hit me so hard. The reason I became obsessed with like hardcore deathmatch wrestling was thanks to him and Mick Foley, IWA King of the Deathmatch 1995. I picked it up from High Spots, if you any wrestling fans know that, on VHS back when I was in high school. Absolutely loved it. It's one of the few wrestling VHS tapes that I still have to this day. An absolute iconic tournament, and it's so great. And so that was such a hard hit. Fortunately, frankly, I feel like he's probably in a better place because he was battling with a lot of things toward the end of his life. So that one was one that you could kind of see coming. The one that no one could have possibly seen coming this week, though, of course, was Windham Rotunda, better known as Bray Wyatt in WWE. One of my favorites. I absolutely loved the Bray Wyatt character, the creativity that seeped out of every moment of that character from when it was introduced through to the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match was just phenomenal. I love that character so much, and Windham Rotunda was an absolute creative genius, and it's just, he's a year younger than me, and he has 4 kids, and of course, his wife JoJo. It's just absolutely devastating. That one has hit me harder than many have over the years, because obviously as a pro wrestling fan, we are kind of used to losing people too young, but this is much too young. And so it's just super sad to hear about that. And so obviously all thoughts and love go out to his friends and family. But I did want to just pay some respect to both of them before we get into this video. That said, we will get into it. I do have a book in this haul today, some figures or collectibles, and then some DVDs, including 2 items that I would absolutely consider grails. So excited to share these with you guys. They've been sitting over there for quite a while because I've been gathering these up over the past handful of months here. So just really excited to share them with you guys. Before we get into all that though, if you have a quick second, hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right in to my pro wrestling haul. Alright, so I only have 1 book, so I guess I'll start with that. And credit to my brother-in-law, he was out shopping with us at 2nd and Charles, and he happened to stumble across this one, and I couldn't pass it up. We have Cheating Death, Stealing Life, the Eddie Guerrero story. So this is a book I am so excited to have in the collection. Eddie Guerrero is an icon himself, one of my all-time favorites, another one that we lost way too young, and so super, super excited I was able to find this one. I don't think I've ever seen this out in the wild before, and so this was a must pick up for me. Just really cool. There's so many pictures in this as well as you go through it. But yeah, so this one actually, it's an autobiography, but it's also written with Michael Krugman, who I'm not super familiar with it. But yeah, so very happy I was able to add this one to the autobiography collection of my wrestling show. So yeah, pretty cool find. Thank you to my brother-in-law for spotting this one. Cheating Death, Stealing Life, the Eddie Guerrero story. Okay, so let's move over to the collectibles I've grabbed. I guess I'll start with a couple of Funko Pops because these were extraordinarily cheap on Amazon a couple months ago. $4 a piece, $4 to $5. And so I figured might as well pick them up. I do have one of the Amazon exclusives, but now I have a couple, or I guess this is the only Amazon exclusive. The other one is not. But anyway, this is Brock Lesnar, of course, and it is a great looking figure. Like I said, an Amazon exclusive. And the other Amazon exclusive I have, I believe, was The Undertaker in his, the Boneyard match with AJ Styles at WrestleMania, that gimmick, which is a phenomenal gimmick. I loved it. And so yeah, this was really cool. But Brock Lesnar, Lesnar, I mean, he is just phenomenal at what he does. He's like on another level. The match at SummerSlam with him and Cody was so much fun. I was in attendance at SummerSlam. Phenomenal. So much fun. I love it. Live pro wrestling. It's just unlike anything in the world. So anyway, this was awesome. Could not pass it up for like $5 or whatever it was, $5 or $6. Super cheap. So the first Funko Pop today is Brock Lesnar, the Amazon exclusive. And then the other one I found, speaking of Bray Wyatt and his creative genius, we have Alexa Bliss. And of course, this was with her gimmick while she was with Bray Wyatt, which I absolutely loved. And then she came back and was super boring and just didn't even have a gimmick at all, which I hated. And then of course she left and is now out for a while due to being pregnant. And so hopefully she comes back and has a much better gimmick than what she left with, because she was so boring. One of my favorites too. So it hurts me to say that because I love Alexa Bliss. But yeah, really cool one. I love this character of hers, so definitely had to pick that one up. You can see a really good shot of it there. So just an awesome Funko Pop. And again, this was literally between $4 and $5. It was dirt cheap, so I couldn't pass it up. So another one for the wrestling Funko Pop collection, Alexa Bliss. This last collectible is not a Funko Pop, but I had to grab it. I don't collect figures, as I always say, but sometimes there's just some you can't pass up. This was actually on clearance at Target for like $12. And it's one of my all-time favorites in AJ Styles. This, of course, is his WCW days, which is phenomenal. Pun intended. But yeah, you have his Nitro shirt there, which is super cool. And then you just have some information on the back here, like some titles he's won. And it talks about his 2001 WCW roster days. But yeah, this is really cool. So the box is not in the like mint condition, but it's pretty darn good for what it was. And again, it was on clearance for like $12. So I didn't want to pass it up, even though the box wasn't mint. This is just such a cool figure. Like I said, AJ Styles, one of my all-time favorites. Just so great. I was such an AJ Styles fan when he was in TNA, and so I was counting down the days for him to debut in the WWE, and then at Royal Rumble it happened, and I absolutely lost it. It was just amazing to watch. So yeah, had to grab this one, another one for my very small but growing, and I hate to say that, but it is growing when I find them cheap, figure collection. So a really cool add to that collection. So that is the last of the collectibles that I've picked up recently. All right, let's pivot from the WWE for a minute and talk about some TNA DVDs I've picked up. I talked about a handful I grabbed in my last wrestling haul, which I think I've done I think this is my third wrestling haul this year. So check those out if you are a wrestling fan and want to see more. But something I noticed in my collection was that I had a number of the 2005 pay-per-views. And so I got it in my head, I might as well collect them all. Now, as of right now, as of filming, I do not have them all, but I did pick up a stack full here. So let's go through these first. So this first one here is actually from December 5th, 2004, and I believe this is the first ever TNA pay-per-view. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Not first ever pay-per-view, but their first ever 3-hour pay-per-view, because of course TNA started as a weekly pay-per-view series, but this is a big show, and I think it was one of their first ones. So this is from December 2004. We have TNA Turning Point. And yeah, this is really cool. You have Petey Williams versus Chris Sabin on here, which is awesome. You have, of course, the alpha male Monty Brown, he was so great. I just wish he was able to do more in the world of pro wrestling, but I know he got out of it pretty quickly. But he's doing a Serengeti survival match with Abyss, which is phenomenal. So yeah, just really cool. DDP is on here as well, who I absolutely love. So this is just an awesome add to the collection. So the first of my TNA pay-per-views is from December 2004. We have Turning Point. And I'll just keep going through these in order now, because of course we are in January. So from January 2005, we have Final Resolution. And this one has Jeff Jarrett versus the winner of Nash, DDP, or the Alpha Male in the NWA World Heavyweight title match. You have DDP versus Kevin Nash versus the Alpha Male Monty Brown for that shot later on in the card. Just another Petey Williams versus AJ Styles versus Chris Sabin. Another great card. So yeah, really cool add for the collection. TNA Final Resolution 2005. Moving right along, we have February 2005 with Against All Odds. And the world title match on this one is King of the Mountain Jeff Jarrett, a phenomenal gimmick, versus Kevin Nash, featuring Kip James and Sean Waltman. Was this the one? Is this the one that has Macho Man in it as well? I can't remember offhand. Maybe I'm too far back. I don't remember. I haven't researched these in a while since I bought them, so I could be off. But yeah, really cool. Another one for the TNA pay-per-view collection from February. We have Against All Odds 2005. And then the last one from 2005, so I do have maybe 4 or 5 more that I have to get yet because I already owned some, of course. This one is from April 2005. We have Lockdown. So this is their steel cage match, which you get the 6 sides of steel, which is just so cool. And so yeah, this one has AJ Styles versus the Monster Abyss in a #1 contenders match. And then the lethal Lockdown match here, we have DDP, Sean Waltman or X-Pac, and BG James or Road Dogg Jesse James versus Jeff Jarrett, Monty Brown, and Kip James. Like, how awesome is that? So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to watch as well. Awesome ad. Lockdown 2005. And then the last of the TNA DVDs, this is actually from 2011. I have Against All Odds and Victory Road in a 2-pack. And if you know, you know, but I'll talk about it. Of course, this is the infamous one that has Victory Road 2011, Sting versus Jeff Hardy. This is the one where Jeff Hardy is completely obliterated. He is drunk, should not have been on the show. Obviously, he was dealing with battling his personal demons, as they say, at the time. And he showed up drunk, and they still pushed him out there to have a match. He couldn't do it. It was just like a super quick squash match that Sting basically forced him to stay down for the 3 count on. And so this is one that like I needed to have in the collection just in case you're not able to find it any other way down the line. And it's a 2-pack, which is pretty cool too. So you got Kurt Angle on this one also, which is awesome. But anyway, TNA Wrestling 2-pack from 2011. We have Against All Odds and Victory Road. So everything else in this video is WWE related, which is disappointing because I'm posting this on a day where AEW is having the largest pay-per-view ever. But unfortunately, that's what happens when you don't release physical media like AEW does. But anyway, let's go start through these here. So these are random ones found at like Disc Replay, Media Reload. Actually, a couple I got specifically off of eBay, just all over the place here. But anyway, first up, we have Allied Powers, the world's greatest tag teams. So this one is a 3-disc set, and you're going to get I believe you're going to get a documentary on here as well as like a bunch of matches too, which is really cool. And then I'll open it up just so you can see the inside as well. Does this one have the booklet? It does. It does have the booklet, which some of these do, some of them don't. It's just hard to find when you're getting them used like that. But yeah, this one does. Not that I can get it to go, well, I'm going to leave it there because I can't get it to go back in. But yeah, let's close this up and move on. So yeah, really cool one here. I don't think this one is one of the better ones, at least from what I've heard about it, but that's okay. Sometimes you just got to pick them up because they're super cheap like this one was. So I grabbed Allied Powers, the world's greatest tag teams. This next one was from Disc Replay as well, and this is really cool. The slipcover on this is awesome. We have Triple H, the King of Kings. There is only one, and this is a 2-disc set, but look at how cool that slipcover is. I absolutely love it. And there is the back, lists some of the matches on there as well. Like, just really cool. So let's open this one up. There's the inside. Whoop! Well, that one has the booklet as well, as I just dropped it on the floor. But yeah, really cool find here, super cheap. So you can't pass these up when you find them out in the wild. And you get 6 hours of footage on this. I just can't get. There we go. Triple H, the King of Kings. These next two I actually found at Media Reload, and I have the greatest superstars of the 1990s. So this one is the greatest superstars of the 21st century. So it covers the 2000s. And so that's the reason I picked it up. It was like $3 or something. So I had to grab it. And yeah, so now I have 2 of the 3 in that collection. Nothing too interesting on the inside there, but yeah, it should be pretty fun. The greatest superstars of the 21st century. So like I said, I had the 90s and the 2000s. Well, they also had the greatest superstars of the 80s. So now I believe this is the entire collection of them to this point. And so I'd probably, frankly, forever at this point because they stopped releasing a lot of these. Look how cool that is, though. On the spine, it lists a bunch of superstars' names there, which is awesome. Yeah, so this one features 15 different wrestlers on it, which is pretty cool. So the greatest wrestlers of the 80s, and just to give you an idea of who might be on there, and we'll open it up one more time. Another one with the booklet in it, which is always good. So yeah, pretty cool find. So I was able to get the 80s and the 21st century. So now I have, like I said, all 3 of them, which is just fun. These next two were eBay finds, and I didn't know this one existed, and I've been such a hater of this wrestler until this, like, past year or so. Absolutely love him now. Seth Rollins, building the architect. And like I said, I was never a Rollins fan. I could not get on board with Seth Rollins at all. His gimmicks were just like, they felt so samey to me. They felt so annoying to me. But boy, oh boy, I am on board now. Like, I understand the Seth Rollins hype now. The dude is just phenomenal at what he does. And the way he's able to get the crowd behind him, his matches he puts on. Really, it was his trilogy with Cody Rhodes that really got me loving Seth Rollins when I could never do it before. And mostly because I'm such a huge Cody Rhodes mark. And so I just respected what Seth Rollins and him were able to do. And he's been so great this past, like specifically this past year. I think he's just been the best I've ever seen him. And his run with that World Heavyweight title has been really fun to watch so far. So, though I would have loved at SummerSlam for Finn Balor to take it off of him, it is what it is. Frankly, I thought he won. I thought Finn Balor got the 3 count, and I was jumping up and down like an idiot, screaming, super excited, and then I turned around, I'm like, wait, what's happening? Why is the match still going on? But anyway, yeah, so I had to grab this one. This is Seth Rollins, building the architect. So the last of the standard DVDs I picked up, another eBay find that I picked up, I just bought like a couple days ago, and I've already gotten it in, which is awesome. But this is another favorite, DDP Positively Living. So anybody who knows anything about pro wrestling is familiar with Diamond Dallas Page, and you're probably also familiar with how awesome and how genuinely great a man DDP is. He has literally saved the lives of some of our old favorite wrestlers, or extended their lives, like Scott Hall. I'm sure his life was extended thanks to Diamond Dallas Page. Jake the Snake Roberts' life has been saved thanks to Diamond Dallas Page. The list goes on and on with his DDP yoga. Just such an awesome guy. And so, like, I was really excited to, one, find out that this existed, and then be able to find it for a decent price. You can see there on the inside. What I find absolutely hilarious about this, though, is that this DVD, released, of course, by WWE back in 2016. So this would have been well after DDP did his WWE run. There is one match on here from his, supposed to be his greatest hits. There is one match from WWE. Everything else is from WCW. That just goes to show you how terribly Vince treated DDP in the WWE. It was an absolute shame, because DDP was a phenomenal wrestler and just a phenomenal character in WCW. And for those interested, it was a WrestleMania X8, the European Championship match, DDP versus Christian. That's the only WWE match on there, which is just hysterical to me. But anyway, DDP is phenomenal. So happy to have this in the collection. This is Diamond Dallas Page, Positively Living. Okay, these next two items are without a doubt Grails. I genuinely never thought I would be able to have these in my collection in full like this, and I was so thrilled. Somebody traded in all of these at Disc Replay, and the first one I'm going to show you I actually bought mostly with trade credit, because I traded in a bunch of stuff a while back, and so I had some trade credit sitting around that was burning a hole in my pocket. I walk in and I see this guy sitting there, and I knew I had to have it. It's amazing. So let me show you here. First up, this is so cool. The SummerSlam Anthology. And it's in this incredible, whatever this is, cooler. That's what this is. This is so cool. So I never thought I would have the complete anthology. I'll show you. I left the price sticker on it so I could remember what it was. $94.99. Of course, I paid like $15 for it out of pocket, because like I said, I had trade credit, and I think I had a 20% off coupon as well that helped with it. So yeah, this is amazing. I am so excited about this. So let me show you guys a little bit more here. So that's how it opens up. And it has, as far as I can tell, pretty much everything with it, even like the card that would be inside it, which is super cool. And then you have the 4 discs. Now, these were things that you could get separately, but not, obviously not with this. And so I didn't ever buy them that way. But yeah, so you have volume 4. So this is the last volume, and this goes 2003 to 2007 of SummerSlam. And so let me just open up one here. I won't waste your time with all of them, but yeah, so you can see on the inside, like, these are so cool. And that's how the discs are stored. So yeah, not the best way to store the discs, but it is what it is. But yeah, so awesome. And the discs on these look good. I checked them before I left the store just to make sure. And this thing is in really great shape. Like, I wouldn't call it mint, but I would call it pretty darn good. So let me just grab it up here again. That way you guys can see it one more time. What do we got here? There we go. All right. Yeah, so like just an awesome set, and I love it. I'm so happy to have these. Now, admittedly, like the thing that isn't great about these is that these are from the era when the WWE had to censor the words WWF, and they had to blur that on the DVD. So that part stinks, but whatever. If the network goes away, which is totally possible, I now have access to all the SummerSlams through 2007, which is just super cool. So I was so happy to have this. And the other one I'm going to show you in a second, I'm probably even more excited about, but yeah, let's wrap up this one. This is really like the only notable damage on it, but still, for the age, this is so cool. I'm so happy I was able to find this. This is SummerSlam, the complete anthology. Okay, last but not least is, again, a Grail. Like, this is one I've wanted even more than the SummerSlam collection. Frankly, if I saw this one there when I picked up SummerSlam, I would have grabbed it instead, because I have always wanted to find this one. Same idea, but the Royal Rumble Complete Anthology, 1988, again, to 2007. So I'll show you the price on this one, $84.99. This was another one. I had some birthday money sitting around, and I had 20% off. And so I used that with the birthday money, and so I was able to get this one for basically free, because the birthday money, of course, wasn't mine. And so look at the inside. That is beautiful. I might argue that this one is in, I don't know, maybe it's in better shape than the other one. It's not perfect though. You can see like on the bottom here, but yeah, for the price, and that's the other thing, the prices on these might sound high, but honestly, it's cheap compared to what you can find them for on eBay. And so that's why I decided to pull the trigger. So let me open this up so you can see a little bit better on the inside. Let me grab these real quick. Oh, this is the one thing that the SummerSlam set doesn't have. I don't know if it's supposed to or not, but I know the WrestleMania set does have it, which I'll mention. The WrestleMania Complete Anthology is also there, but I already own half of it standalone. And I own a bunch of the other WrestleManias outside of that, so I'm not going to spend the money on the WrestleMania one. But these cards are so cool. So we have 1992, Ric Flair wins from slot number 3, and then 1995, Shawn Michaels wins from the number 1 pick. I don't know if you can make those out, but it's like a still from the event. So cool. I was so happy that these were included in there, but I'm going to put those aside. And then here is the actual like DVD set. So this is volume 2, 93 to 97. And on the back, it lists all the discs and everything like that. And then you can open it up. Like this is just beautiful. The Royal Rumble is without a doubt my favorite WWE event. And so this is why I've always wanted this one. And you can see as I go through there, like all of the different events there. Oh, I love it so much. It's just so cool. Yeah, this is so much more beautiful than the SummerSlam set. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, I love that they go all out on the Royal Rumble one. And it kind of makes the SummerSlam set, oh my gosh, I can't talk. The SummerSlam set look a little cheap by comparison. But like, this is super classy and I love it. So, oh, I'm just so happy to have this in the collection. So not only the Royal Rumble Complete Anthology, but the SummerSlam Complete Anthologies are now in my collection. And like I said, absolutely holy grails that I genuinely never thought I'd own, because the price was just so high up there on eBay. But it's here now. Thank you, Disc Replay, for the trade credit and the 20% off. And then my wife for the birthday money. Like, just so cool. So that is going to wrap up today's pro wrestling haul. All right, so here are the standard DVDs, at least, that I picked up in this haul, and just so many fun things in there. I love getting pro wrestling media in the collection, whether it's collectibles, DVDs, Blu-rays, whatever it is. I love adding it to the collection. So let me know down in the comments below, are you watching AEW All In today? And if so, let me know who you think is going to win, FTR or the Bucks. Who is going to win this one? I really think, given FTR's recent legal issues, I think the Young Bucks are going to pull this one out in Wembley, and I cannot wait to see what happens with our main event of the evening, who's actually opening the show as well, but MJF versus Adam Cole, baby. I cannot wait for that match. I think everyone sees it coming. It's going to be an Adam Cole full-on heel turn to screw over MJF to take the title. That's what I'm guessing is going to happen, but we shall see. Super excited about today's event. But let me know what you think about this, my pickups, and anything else down in the comments below. I appreciate any and all support down there. But with that said, guys, before you take off, go ahead and hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. And like I always say, well, I don't just talk pro wrestling. I talk all things media, books, movies, video games, graphic novels, and manga. If it's media related, I'm interested in it, and if you are too, you might consider subscribing. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.